think psychedelics would have a good impact on you in your life?
I think it would in most lives, and I think it would for me as well.
You would be willing to try them?
Certainly, yeah.
David Shore is an Army veteran who served in the Gulf War, and he's a former 4-term sheriff from St. Johns County.
This is a great city.
In the early days of his career, he patrolled these streets of St. Augustine.
Did you see a lot of drugs?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
in 2014, he spent a year as president of the Florida Sheriff's Association. Today, he's advocating that a Schedule I drug, so-called magic mushrooms, be legalized as medicine.
And I think law enforcement will take anything we can get to help people suffering mental illness, because 60% of the things we deal with involve mental illness.
When you hear magic mushrooms, you probably picture hippies in tie-dyed t-shirts, but legalization would look a lot more like this. A patient on a couch, a trained therapist at their side. After a dose of the mushroom's hallucinogenic compound psilocybin, the patient gets a blindfold, headphones with music, and goes on a carefully guided trip.
What these substances seem to do is to be able to create additional pathways in the mind that allow you to perceive things and appreciate things at different levels. And some of those levels allow you to leave the experience and be more productive, be happier, be more comfortable in your own skin. How can that not be a good thing?
There's a growing body of research backing him up. These studies out of Johns Hopkins show promising results treating major depression and tobacco addiction. And in this study from the University of South Florida, researchers discovered psilocybin helped grow neurons in the brain and ease the fear response in mice, suggesting uses for treating conditions like PTSD.
I've been through chemical war. I've done everything in there. Helicopter crash, just you name it.
Sheriff Shore, who suffers from PTSD himself, wants to see Florida follow the state of Oregon and legalize controlled psilocybin therapy.
I've had folks that I've worked with take their own life. Soldiers that I serve with took their own life. And I've seen hundreds of folks over the years, thousands of folks that I think would have benefited from this.
We have an opportunity to be ahead of the game, especially with our veteran community.
State Representative Mike Grieco from Miami Beach introduced a bill last session to establish psilocybin therapy in Florida. The proposal never made it to committee, but it started a bipartisan conversation that Grieco says should move the bill forward next year.
Florida's legislature is conservative. Does this stand a chance?
So Florida's legislature is conservative when it comes to partisan politics, but what it's not conservative about is about helping people. And I can tell you that it is a nonpartisan issue when it comes to the treatment of those who need it, including our veterans.
How confident are you that in the near future we will see magic mushrooms become the new medical marijuana?
So I'm actually more confident about this type of legislation and this type of therapy than I am about medical marijuana. This is about science, this is about treatment, this is about helping people.
Have you taken mushrooms?
Yes.
Can you tell me what it was like?
Dr. Jeffrey Camlett has been studying psychedelics for 25 years. He says he has seen psilocybin ease, even cure, mental illnesses like PTSD.
You'll be listening to music, and all of a sudden, you'll start to see beautiful visions, thousands of visions a second in perfect symmetry, in colors that don't exist, and it's incredibly beautiful.
But how does that experience, going there, how does that help you with PTSD?
So we believe there are certain receptor sites in the brain that get damaged by these traumas. By lighting up these receptors again, I may be curing the brain. It's called neuroplasticity. If I can turn a switch on that, turn this brain switch back on in your brain that was shut off by the trauma, I get sustainable results. One single flood dose of psilocybin is like getting 10 years of perfect psychoanalysis done in one day.
From his office in Miami, where he treats patients with another drug, better known for its illicit use, ketamine or Special K, Dr. Camlet wishes he had the option to use psilocybin in the same way. He believes it would help achieve significant results with one treatment a month for about 3 months. Everyone involved in this research agrees that more study needs to be done on the therapeutic use of psilocybin, but there's no question that while patients are seeing mystical visions, doctors are seeing results. The Food and Drug Administration has already given the green light to more clinical trials, calling psilocybin a breakthrough therapy for severe depression. Similar studies are being done with other psychedelics like MDMA, better known as ecstasy. We'll continue to follow this research and give you updates in the coming months. For the CBS 12 News I-Team, I'm Danielle Waugh. The drug is called ketamine. On the street, it's known as Special K, a party drug that's also used in veterinary medicine, but in controlled settings, like a psychiatrist's office. Ketamine is showing promise in treating depression. Doctors say it could even be a cure.
I've had lots of interesting results.
In Miami, in this doctor's office,
I've kind of been fighting like sadness and depression my entire life.
And inside this room,
it's really undescribable.
Jackie O'Rourke says she has found the thing she has long been searching for: relief. Now in her 30s, Jackie's tried everything to beat depression. Pills, therapy, meditation, nothing worked. So she tried something radical.
Funny enough, I've never done drugs in my life, so this was really out there to think about.
After 6 sessions of ketamine infusions, Jackie says she's happy again, even glowing. She allowed us to document her 7th session at TriStar Wellness. After getting her vitals checked, she goes into a quiet room and gets comfortable under a blanket. Under the supervision of a doctor, she gets an IV of ketamine, a blindfold, and headphones. Meditative music and colorful, muted lights set the mood for Jackie's therapy, which lasts about an hour. A practitioner stays in the room the entire time, but Jackie is completely unaware that anyone else is around, including our cameras. Under the influence of this drug, she says she has left her body. She spoke with us minutes after she woke up.
Today was very interesting. I went on a big journey.
She says she saw green tones and white lights, saw people she knew, traveled through different rooms, and the anxiety she'd been feeling when she arrived for this appointment, gone.
When you kind of get pulled out, you feel like everything's okay. You feel like everything's good, everything's taken care of. All of these stresses and worries that we have in this life are just so minimal.
The number one thing I hear, word I hear, is when they wake up is, wow.
Dr. Jeffrey Camlet has overseen hundreds of ketamine therapy sessions, and he calls it transformative. Its track record of safety and short duration of effect make it unique. And while Dr. Camlet says more research needs to be done, he tells CBS 12 News it creates new pathways in the brain that can affect mood and thought patterns.
It's breakthrough in medicine. This is cutting edge science. We don't have a cure for any mental illness. We have no cures. The fact that this is maybe curing the brain or healing the brain is getting sustainable results.
It has completely changed my life.
19-year-old Lindsay Nunley's first rounds of ketamine therapy were so successful, she and her mother flew back to Miami from California for more.
I can't deny, that something profound is happening.
Before ketamine, Sarah says her daughter was severely depressed and repeatedly tried to take her own life. Conventional therapy didn't work. They even had her institutionalized for a time with no significant change.
When you get to that point as a parent, you're willing to try anything.
A fellow military veteran told Sarah that psychedelics helped him cope with PTSD. So they decided to visit Miami and Dr. Camlet.
After ketamine, it's like your eyes are opened and it's like you see everything that you couldn't see before. Like that life is beautiful and you only get one shot at it. You kind of like understand that you're blessed to have a consciousness in this world, and it just makes you think.
They took a suicidal daughter into that room, and out of that room came a different person, a person who saw life in a new way and wanted to live.
Lindsay went back to school, got her GED, and is making plans for her future. She says that thoughts of suicide have never returned.
Do you think this drug saved her life?
Absolutely, without a doubt. She would be dead without
100%.
this.
I always say, like, whenever my friends ask me, I say not only did it change my life, but it saved my life.
Right now, there's no research to indicate how long the effects of ketamine therapy may last. Dr. Kemlet is planning on a study of his own to better understand its long-term impacts. But he also has a warning that this drug is addictive and can be abused and should never be used unsupervised. Dr. Kemlet says doing so can lead to negative experiences, which could do significant and lasting harm. For the I-Team, I'm Danielle Wass, CBS 12 News.